Mm-hmm.
What do you think a homeless person thinks when they see us? Maybe they see someone who takes their homes for granted. Or maybe they see someone who takes their shoes and their clothes and their families for granted. What do you think when you see a homeless person? Most people will probably think that they're just lazy and that they don't care enough to get a job and they're just fine with the way that they live. I see someone who's desperate at a chance for the life that we live. I see someone who needs our help. I know that you won't really be able to see this, but that's kind of it. The leading causes of homelessness are mental disabilities, job loss, increasing cost of housing, and low-wage jobs. A lot of people will ask, well, why don't they just live with a family member? Or why don't they just stay with someone that they know? Well, not everyone has that option. I know that if I lost my job and I couldn't afford to live somewhere, that my family would let me stay with them, but not everyone has that. A lot of people lose their jobs not because of something that they did, but maybe they were just laid off and they can't help that. It's not always just because they weren't good at their job. And the increasing cost of housing has pushed many people out of their houses or made it where they can't buy houses, which I will go into more depth later. In America, there are at least 800,000 homeless people, and at least 200,000 of those are children. These children don't have homes, sometimes don't have clothes or blankets, and sometimes are out in the cold daily. The rate of homelessness has constantly rose since 1990, which you would think wouldn't be the case. And at least 1 in 10 people are at risk to face homelessness just in an average year. That's not even in a bad year where everything is worse. This shows the rate of homelessness and how it has risen since 2014. Between 2014 and 2015, it rose 22%. Between 2015 and 2016, it rose 28%. Between 2016 and 2017, it rose 25%. Between 2017 and 2018, it rose 27%. The cost of housing in some places has completely skyrocketed and has been higher than it has ever been. It has increased at least 14% just over the past 3 years, which is, absolutely insane. The median price of a home has increased from $215,000 to $260,000, which I know that I won't be able to afford for a long, long time. The median rent rose from $1,340 to $1,442, which I also couldn't afford. Probably won't be able to for a very, very long time. According to Ellen Gussick, in New York, there are 18 homeless shelters that home at least thousands every night, which is 16 more than there were in 1990. 16. There is a shelter in Boston that is one of the largest shelters there, and they have reported in one night having 350 beds that were filled with people, more than one, with at least 267 people laying on the concrete floor because they needed somewhere to sleep. And as you can see, this is one of the homeless shelters there. It's full. Psychological trauma is a very big risk for homeless people. The loss of their home and the condition of homeless shelters can cause this psychological trauma because not only are they losing their home, but they're having to be around all these other people who have also lost their homes. So they have no positivity in their life to help bring them back up. All they have is the negative people around them who are going through the same things they're going through. They have absolutely no sense of belonging. They all feel out of place, I would imagine. I know that I would. They live their life day to day with nowhere to go and no one there for them and no one to pick them up. They probably have a constant feeling of worthlessness. They can't get a job. They can't buy their own food. They can't afford anywhere to live. They can't call someone and talk to them. There are a lot of things that we could do to help homelessness, not necessarily end it, but to help bring the numbers back down. We need programs that will negotiate with landlords for the homeless. Say a homeless person has enough money to rent a house, but they don't have enough money for the first and last month's rent, or they don't have enough money to put down. They just have enough to pay rent each month, but the landlord won't take that. We need someone who will help talk to the landlord for them and let them see the whole picture, so that they don't just end up not being able to get it because they don't have all the money up front. We need funds that can solve household short-term problems. So we need, for people who get laid off and are currently looking for a job, to be able to dip into some money without having to take a whole loan out, just that they can pay back when they can, not within a certain time, or they'll get in trouble for it. We need programs that will build more affordable homes for the homeless that they can get access to easier. There is government housing, but that isn't always available to them. We need houses that are built for this purpose, for a homeless person with a family that, like I said, got a low-wage job and can afford to pay rent for a few months in this house. We need programs and classes that are free to homeless people that will help them develop financial management skills. So we need people who will volunteer to teach them how to manage their money and how to get the money and how to go in for an interview and how to do the interview correctly. Homeless shelters do help, but they are not a solution. Yes, they are valuable and they do provide help for them. They do provide warmth and somewhere for them to sleep. But for the mentally ill, they don't provide the help that they need. The mentally ill need real psychiatric help. They need to be in facilities, although they can't pay for it. They need to get the help that they need so that they can find a job, because who's going to hire a mentally ill person, right? We need to pay it forward. There are many ways that you can do this. My family, for one, donates to people in need all the time. There are soup kitchens that my grandma and I have both worked at before. There is Church Under the Bridge, where pastors and priests will come out and teach the homeless and bring God to them and lead them in the right direction. Our church, for example, has an angel tree, and we will put kids' names on it that are in need and won't get Christmas or don't have anything, and someone can go pull a name off the tree and get things for that child. You need to donate what you can, whether it be jackets or canned food or anything that you can. So I ask again, what do you see when you see a homeless person? I see someone who needs our help.